Hello friends, today we are going to start a second lecture on our subject power electronics devices and circuit. In last lecture we have studied the construction and working of a power diode. I have briefly and detailed explained you what is the difference between signal component and power component, okay, and what are the applications. And we have seen the diode how it is different from how power diode is different from signal diode. Now in this lecture we will study what is BJT. BJT, its full form is bipolar junction transistor. Okay, now this BJT remains in on state. Uh, sorry, the diode. I'm sorry, diode is uncontrolled device. Okay, diode. If you remember, it is a PN junction. Now power diode has little different construction. I have explained PN junction. So whenever you have reached zero point 0.7 volt for silicon diode, it get turned on. Okay, it start conducting. Okay, and when voltage drops below it, it get turned off. Now BJT, hence diode is uncontrolled device. It is uncontrolled device. Means you don't have control over it. But BJT is control device. Why it is control device? Because it can be turned on when a current signal given to its base. Okay, it is a three-layer device. NPN or PNP. Its terminal are named as collector, base, and emitter. Okay, so whenever you want to turn it on, you have to give a supply to base, right? Then it get turned on and it remain in on state as long as control signal at base. So as long as control signal is present, it will remain in on state. When this control signal is removed, this transistor get turned off. Okay, now power transistors are of generally are of a four types. The types is first BJT. Okay, BJT, these are types of power transistor. BJT, bipolar junction transistor, from transistor, these are all are from transistor family. Transistor, so first type of transistor is BJT, bipolar junction transistor. Second is metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor, MOSFET. Metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor. Third is insulated gate bipolar transistor, IGBT. Okay, next fourth is static induction transistor. These are the four types. Okay, for your syllabus we study this BJT, MOSFET, and IGBT. Right, now let's start BJT. Okay, as now said, it is a three layer device. It has two junctions. As three layers, obviously there are two junctions. It can be NPN or PNP. Okay, now when NPN is there, P type of material is sandwiched between two N type of material, and when it is PNP, then N type is material is sandwiched between two P type material. Okay, now it is the term, its full form is bipolar junction transistor. What that bipolar means? Very important point. Bipolar. Term bipolar denotes that the current flow in device is due to movement of both holes and electrons. Okay, in device current flows due to movement of both holes and electrons, hence it is bipolar. If it is unipolar, then current produced due to movement of only electrons or only holes. Are you getting? Now its terminals are named as collector, base, and emitter, C, B, and E. Okay, now this emitter is indicated by arrowhead. Okay, I will show you the symbol, then you will understand. It is shown by arrowhead indicating the direction of emitter current. Right, now let me show you how its symbol is. This is N P N transistor, collector, emitter, and base. Right, symbol is like this. Okay, this is base, collector, emitter. Arrowhead, as just now as I said, arrowhead indicate the direction of emitter current. Right, now here this is base current, this is collector current, this is emitter current. Okay, now if PNP transistor is there, like this, see, PNP, base, collector, emitter. Okay, base, collector, emitter, then it can be shown as, symbol is same, only difference is direction of arrow. IB like this, IC like this, IE like this, arrow going inside, collector, base, emitter. Okay, this is PNP transistor. Now how construction wise it is different from the uh, actual transistor. Okay, that we will see whether it is construction wise different from your actual transistor. Okay, so as just now said, this is a general transistor, or construction wise you can draw proper PNP transistor, PNP. Okay, collector, base, emitter. Now when we talk about the power transistor, its construction is, let me show you. In different books you will get different construction. Different construction means construction will be same, the way they represent can be different. This is emitter. Okay, here this is base. This is N P, and this should be N layer. The difference is in N layer they form two different layers of N. One is highly doped, one is lightly doped. That is the only difference. Otherwise, it is simple NPN. Okay, it is NPN device. But in N, there are two sections. One highly doped, that is 10 raised to 19 cm minus raised to 3, means 10 raised to 19 per cm cube. Lightly doped means 10 raised to 14. Here, normally doped means 10 raised to 16. In last lecture we have seen it. Again, highly doped means 10 raised to 90. Okay, now for emitter general thickness is around 10 micrometer. For your base general thickness is this one, 5 to 20 micrometer. This drift region, this is also called as a collector drift region. This is the extra layer in a power transistor. It is of a 50 to 200 micrometer, and its width depend on the breakdown voltage. Similarly, what we have studied in a power diode. Okay, okay. So as we, if you want higher breakdown voltage, then its width will be higher. If you want lower breakdown voltage, its width will be less. Last layer is of around 250 micrometer collector. Okay. Now just now as I said, the thickness of this n minus layer determines the breakdown voltage capability of the transistor. Right. So this is the construction wise only difference from normal in normal diode and in signal diode and power diode. Okay. Now before moving to the characteristics, let me revise you how transistor works. Actually, it is not in your syllabus. It is expected that you should know it earlier. But to revise, I will just go through its working. If this is a transistor, generally in transistor, a sandwich layer is very having very less thickness. NPN. This is a transistor. Okay. Now, in general case, what we do, we give supply like this. Okay. So what will happen? Your this PN junction is will be forward bias. NP junction is not forward bias. Means whether you give any polarity, if you reverse the polarity, then this PN junction will be forward bias. This NP junction will be reverse bias. So anyhow, out of two junction, one junction is always forward bias, one is always reverse bias. Okay. Now here there is a base. Now what I will do? I will do one thing. I will apply one supply like this. Okay, so that what will happen, the electrons from this particular n layer will move over here at the holes. Okay, now these electrons will combines at these holes. Few electrons combines, remaining electrons will complete its path through this outer circuit like this. Okay, still there are huge number of electrons present, and what they will do, can you have a guess? Okay, because all the holes here are combined, remaining are moving through these, still there are lots of electrons, so those electrons will get attracted here. Those electrons will get attracted over here. Sorry, this polarity should be opposite, positive. So those electrons will get attracted to this positive polarity, and here also there are free electrons. So these all electrons will complete their path through this outer circuit like this, and the what I can say, this current get established. Okay, if you cut this supply, then obviously this PN junction will remain forward bias, and this will not be forward bias, reverse bias. Hence automatically this device get off. So to keep device on, there should be continuous base signal. Okay. Now what are the characteristics of the BJT? Simple characteristics or IV characteristics, which we call it as a steady state characteristics. Steady state characteristics. Okay, so complete circuit of transistor is shown like this. See, for collector there is one resistance, then this is a transistor. Okay, this is the circuit. Okay, so this supply is called as VCC. This supply collector to emitter is called as a VCE. This voltage is called as a VB, base emitter voltage. Okay, this is plus, this is VB. Collector resistance RC, collector current IC, emitter current IE, base current IB, IB. Okay, and okay, so this is how its general circuit is. Now the graph between base current IB, this is base current IB, and base emitter voltage VB, base emitter voltage VB gives input characteristics. Okay, so the graph between IB and VB gives input characteristic. As the base emitter junction of a transistor is like a diode, IB versus VB graph is resembles to a diode curve. Means it is like this. It resembles diode curve. Okay, but if I call it as a VC, collector emitter voltage, okay, and this as a VC, this is VC1, this is VC2. Now let's say VC2 is greater than VC1. So when this collector emitter voltage is more than the VC1, VC2 is more than the VC1, base current for same VB decreases. Means how? Consider this particular point. If you put like this, see. So you can see for less collector emitter current, we require this amount of base current. But if collector emitter current voltage is increased, then we'll require this much less, what I can say, base current. Okay. Now this is input characteristics. This is input characteristics. Don't get confused. Now let's see output characteristic. It is very important characteristic. In output characteristics, it is a characteristics of a VC versus IC, collector current versus collector emitter voltage. Now, if first what we do, first we will keep this base current as a zero. So when base current will be zero, there will mean this is collector current. No, actually interest current is collector to emitter like this. Collector current is of our interest. But if base current is zero, then obviously no current will flow. Only there will be some leakage current like this. So this is for IB equal to 0. Now if as we go on increasing IB, base current is increased, then we can see collector current is increased. Again if we increase the base current, I will draw line like this. Again we increase base current, collector current is increased. Further we increase base current, collector current increase. Further we increase, collector current increase. Similarly, as we goes on increasing the base current, this is IB, IB0, IB1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As base current increases, the collector current will increase. You can see, you can take it on a y-axis. Okay, this current is nothing but a leakage current. This current is a leakage current. Right now, the region here, this region is called as a saturation region. Are you getting? This region is called as a saturation region. In this region, transistor act as a switch. Very important point. In saturation region, your transistor will act as a switch. Now, this is the flat portion. Okay, here this is the cutoff region, means not conducting region, cutoff region, and this is the active region. This is the active region. In active region, your transistor act as a amplifier. Keep in mind, in active region, your this transistor act as amplifier. In your this thing, saturation region, transistor act as a switch, and here it act as a, means non-conducting, zero conduction. Okay, this is about the characteristics. Now let's see another important point, that is a safe operating area of transistor, SOA. Safe operating area of a transistor. Now what is safe operating area? The safe operating area, which is also called as SOA or SOAR. Okay, this specifies that the safe operating limit of the collector current versus collector emitter voltage. Okay, it is the collector current versus collector emitter voltage. It's safe operating region. Okay, for reliable operation of transistor, the collector current and voltage must always lie within this defined area. Okay, if you exceed that area, then there can be some malfunction or some problem can happen. Now this safe operating area is generally distributed in two types. One is called as a forward bias safe operating area, another is reverse bias safe operating area. Now, forward base safe operating area, means FBSOA, pertains to a transistor operation when base emitter junction is a forward bias. Okay, on or when it is a turn on. Okay, now I will show you a safe operating area. This is collector current IC in ampere. This is collector emitter voltage. Okay. Now I have drawn one characteristics, A, B, C, D. So, okay, this is the reason where transistor works fine with this collector current. Sorry, this collector current and this collector emitter voltage. Okay, this is the fine. You should not exceed this particular graph. If you exceed, heating may happen, it may get burned. Now, if you want to further increase the collector emitter voltage, then obviously collector current should be reduced. So one parameter should be reduced in order to keep power constant. So here you can keep this much current, but now you, as you want to increase this thing, collector emitter voltage, base current is decrease, and then this is the safe operating region. Okay, so for collector emitter voltage till this point you can keep this much current, it is safe. But if you want to increase the voltage, current should be decreased so that it will be safe. If you want to further increase the voltage, then current should be further decreased, and this is the safe operating area. Okay, so for different current it is different. Now this is for normal DC current. If pulse DC, pulsated DC, then for some time it work, sometime it not work. So as pulse width is decreased, here this is for I will draw another graph. This is for 5 millisecond. As it goes on decreasing this pulse width, this is 500 microsecond. This is 100 microsecond, and last is 5 microsecond. So as it goes on decreasing the pulse width, means generally you are decreasing the time of turn on time of a transistor. So as turn on time is decreased, obviously heating will be less, and you can get some liberty for its operation. Okay, but if you are making it continuously on, if you are keeping it continuously on, then you should not cross this boundary. If you are having an intermittent operation, sometime for some time it is on, sometime it is off, then as dependent on the pulse width you can increase the safe operation area. This is for forward bias, and similarly for reverse bias, when you reverse bias the transistor, its safe operating area is like this. Okay, so as you goes on increasing collector emitter voltage for this constant current, and if base current is 0, means you have reduced the base current to 0, you want to turn off the transistor. When base current is 0, this outer line which I have just drawn from here through this line, this is the safe operating area for IB equal to 0. Now if you made IB little negative, then your safe operating area is reduced here. IB is say minus 2. Again, if you reduce the IB negative to make it turn off urgently, then your safe operating area reduced. This is IB for minus 5. So as you goes on decreasing the IB, safe operating area can be decreased. Okay, so this is all about the transistor. Next lecture, we'll study about the MOSFET.